Hey, welcome to Dirty Brushing, the one show that fires back. I'm your host, Jonathan Jernigan, and today we're going hunting. Let's get started. Alright, so our first step is we're going to be putting white paint basically all over the top half of the canvas. Now I'm going to use this big ass brush right here and like dip into some white paint. And again, using these little X motions, I'm just going to put white all over the top. Now if you can't tell where you're putting some of that wet white paint, you can kind of just tilt your head, or you can kind of angle the canvas, and all those shiny spots or even where that white paint is kind of showing up. Alright, and once you feel like you have plenty of white on there, so basically this top section right here, I'm going to start to add little bits of blue and little bits of black. I'm going to mix them right on the canvas. And we want that really kind of stormy looking clouds. Again, you can always go back in, add little bits of white. Alright, then I'm even going to throw in just a little bit of green. Like so we are in the woods after all. These are going to be kind of all these dark kind of areas where it's like and we're taking this down to a little bit past halfway. Alright, so now while this background dries, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our trees that are off in the distance. And then for that, we're just going to use, for right now, just a combination of blue, maybe a little bit of brown, even just a tiny bit of black. I'm just going to wipe it on the plate. And again, with trees, you just want to make a little varying Y's kind of everywhere. And we don't want too much detail in these trees. These are the ones that are way off in the distance. Skinny ones. And again, too, you want to remember two rules with trees. They need to be thicker on the bottom than at the top, and then no right angles. Alright, so now we're going to add the trees that are up in front. Now those are going to be a combination of brown with a little bit of black, and you can go as dark or as light as you want to, based on how much of each color you add. Again, coming in from the corner too. So there are no rules. As Bob Ross would say, this is your forest. Now with this step, less is always more, so once you're kind of relatively feel like you've got enough trees on there, stop in the name of love before you break my heart, think it over. The next phase that we're going to be doing is we're going to be filling in all this stuff down here. Now I'm going to keep it real simple, and I'm just going to go with a combination of tan white with just a little bit of brown thrown in there. And again, I'm just mixing these right on the canvas, and I'm taking my brush and holding it vertically. I'm giving it a good, nice upward kind of brush stroke, just like this. And while I'm filling this in, let's cut to a clip of me working out at home. Alright, so while this grass is drying off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start to add all our foliage up here along the top, just so it looks a little less ominous. So basically I'm going to again use that big 1-inch brush, and I'm going to dip into a combination of green, black, a little bit of blue, and even a little bit of brown. And again, now with this step, you're just kind of just lightly just kind of tapping along the top. If it gets too monochromatic, just dip into little bits of black and start in a random spot just to kind of help it. And then, like I said, the closer you get to the bottom, you just want to start tapping lighter and lighter, and that'll be kind of put more air in the bristles. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add some deer to the background, just to make this a little less boring. So now, ideally, you're going to want to sketch these out in pencil, but I'm going to do mine in paint, again, for 2 reasons. 1, because the paint is easier for you to see on camera, and 2, I'm better than you. For the most part, you want to start off by kind of establishing where the deer is going to go. Now, I want mine to be kind of just right, like in here. Again, I want his body to go right there. And again, you start off with the basic shapes. So the deer's body is essentially just an oval with some sticks coming out. Again, you want the tail kind of coming out about right here. So this is going to be our basic shape. And from here, we're going to go in and add some details with a slightly bigger brush. Alright, so now the 3 colors that I'm essentially going to be using are going to be brown, tan, and white. Now it's always easier to go darker, so I'm going to start off with just the tan, maybe throw in just a tad, a bit of brown. Again, I'm going to start off by painting throughout the rest of the... And again, the tail itself is just lightly kind of... And then remember, you do want to add just a little bitty kind of white kind of accent along the tail to start the highlighting. And then I'm just going to pepper in just a little bit of black paint along the top. Alright, so now for the legs, we want to start with the back legs because they're going to be behind everything. For the most part, they're just going to... Now we don't want to worry about the bottom of the legs just right now because they're going to be covered up when we paint our grass back on top of everything. And again, you just want some... Because now the front legs are a little bit harder because you want to start basically inside the shoulder right here and kind of just bring that brown down. Alright, so now we're going to add some darker details. We're just taking a little bit of brown, a little bit of black, and kind of mixing it together. So we want a nice dark brown kind of come in there for our accent lines. I'm going in, highlighting certain legs. And now for the eyes, what you want to do is you want to start off basically on the side of the deer's head. You just want to paint a big white kind of oval. Or sorry, big black oval. Some eyes and a snout. Now, to make this deer look less like a dog, what you want to do too is give the deer some nice ears. This deer is a little smaller, so we're going to make him a nice spike. And again, for those, you just want like two Two little horns. Alright, so now we're just going to sketch out just a couple more deer. Ta-da! Another one over here. This one's going to be the doe. Again, with the doe, you want to make sure you pay a little bit closer of attention to your head shape. You're not going to have antlers to kind of block everything out. Now again, this time we're going to go ahead and start filling in these other deer. Now I'm going to start with the little baby deer because he's a little bit different. And remember, this is a young deer, so you want to put the little spots on the back. And don't forget, you need to add the eyes. Deer have eyes on the side of their head. So one of the last things that we want to add to the deer is going to be the rack that's on our big buck. Now they follow this pretty similar rules to trees. We're going to do the one that's on the other side of the head first, and most of the time, and just start from this and they kind of slowly. Now a good rack is going to come past the deer's ears. And then you can give him as many points as you feel like he needs. I'm going to go ahead and put my ears. And now to the same thing is true with the antlers. You want to throw in just a few highlights. Now I'm using brown just to kind of keep it simple. Now with most deer, what you do to one side, you want to do to the other side. So now you can, sometimes there's some slight irregularities, but for the most part, I don't want to follow that same shape. And again, we want to lightly take a highlight color. Again, I'm going to use brown. Just kind of lightly go along certain curves. Okay, so the last thing that I want to add just to make this painting just a little less boring is that we're going to add kind of a fallen tree kind of down in here. Now basically you can start with whichever end you want to. I'm just going to come lightly kind of in like this. Alright, so the last step, like I said, is we're going to add these little bits of grass kind of down here along the bottom. Now I'm using a slightly smaller brush, and again I'm just wisping kind of along that bottom to push that tree kind of into the background. And the only thing you have left to do is just sign it. Thank y'all for tuning in to yet another episode of Dirty Brushing. I'm your host, Jonathan Jernigan, and this was a lot of fun. And you gotta do something until hunting season. And until then, see y'all next time. Come on, Eileen, oh, I swear, don't be mean at this moment. You mean